Hey guys, this is Catherine. I'm going to be talking about blocks today. So a block is when you're in a moment of stuttering and you feel stuck. You feel as if you can't get any sound out, you can't get any words out, any vocalizations, you're just stuck. And I think of this kind of stutter actually as a secondary behavior. So a way that we're actually trying to avoid stuttering and just say a word fluently. And because we are people who stutter, we stutter, that's what we do. By allowing ourselves to stutter, we can actually release the tension that is in this block and get through the block a lot more easily and a lot more efficiently. So there's this shift from trying not, which is causing tension, which is causing stress, which is causing us to take maybe a really long time to say what we need to say, shift from trying not to stutter to kind of allowing ourselves to stutter, which makes our speech a lot more forward moving and a lot more efficient and just a lot less tense. So you may be saying now, well, I don't really know how to stutter because all my life I've been trying not to stutter. I've been using these tricks, these secondary behaviors to kind of push words out fluently, or even avoiding situations where you would stutter, or I don't know, maybe you just have never truly openly stuttered. So my answer to you would be you could try to voluntarily stutter. So what do I mean by that? Voluntary stuttering is basically what it sounds like. It's stuttering on purpose. And different therapists use this for different reasons, but I'm definitely wary of introducing voluntary stuttering because I feel like some people might think of it as a way to control their stuttering more or to make their stuttering into an easy pattern, because obviously they prefer to voluntarily stutter over actually stuttering. But we're really trying to get away from control, because us trying to control our speech has created all this tension, has created a lot of really the pain that stuttering causes us. Instead, we're going to use voluntary stuttering as a way to get unstuck, to get some sound out in a block, to move forward through the block, and to just enter. It's a way to enter a moment of stuttering when you don't really know how. So there are two basic kinds of voluntary stutters. One of them is called a prolongation. So actually, before I demonstrate the voluntary stutters, I'll show you what I mean by a block. So let's say you're giving someone directions in a car. It's a very there's a lot of time pressure in that sort of situation. So you could tell the person to turn left. So I said the word fluently, but there was a lot of struggle. There was a lot of distracting stuff going on before I actually got that word out. So let's say I want to stutter through that moment of stuttering, but I don't know how, so I'm going to use a voluntary stutter. I'm going to use a prolongation. So you could say turn left. Now you might be thinking, that's a really long stutter. It's kind of embarrassing. That's long, and it might sound kind of ugly too at first, but honestly, likely your stutters will become less ugly to your ears, and probably will become shorter too as you practice openly stuttering more and more, and just stuttering generally. And it will likely be a lot less tense than a block would be, or another stutter where you're really fighting to get the word out fluently. By allowing yourself to stutter, it could be longer. You'll definitely be showing more stuttering, but it'll be a lot easier, a lot less tense. Okay, so the other kind of voluntary stutter that is typically used is called a repetition. So it's just like that. You repeat the first sound of the word that you're stuttering on. So let's say you're saying the same thing to the person in the car. You're like, hey, turn left. So instead of blocking on that sound for a really long time, the person misses the turn, you you actually allow yourself to stutter and using a repetition there. So eventually you're going to be able to kind of trust your body to stutter how it wants to. You won't need to try to voluntarily stutter in a certain way. This is just kind of an exercise in playing with openly stuttering, allowing yourself to openly stutter and putting yourself in a situation where you're openly stuttering. So, eventually you'll just stutter in whatever way your body wants to. A really big thing to remember is that you want to stay in this moment of stuttering. You don't want to try and push, even if you're allowing yourself to go in for a second. You definitely don't want to then be like, okay, I'm in it now, let's get out of it again. Just try and stay in that moment of stuttering to a point of easy release, which is like the point. It's hard to explain, but you'll know. You know that you can kind of move on from that sound and continue with the rest of the word without having to push, without having to struggle. So staying in the moment is really important. There's a phrase that I've heard a lot, to stutter your way out of stuttering. I kind of like to say stutter your way out of the pain of stuttering. So it's kind of paradoxical, but a way to move through these moments of stuttering instead of trying to escape them. You go towards the stutter. You actually stutter in those moments, allowing yourself to stutter, and that alleviates a lot of the pain, not physical pain, but mental anguish that stuttering can cause. What a researcher in the field of stuttering several decades ago once said that you can control. You can't control when you're going to stutter, but you have a lot of say as to how you stutter. So you don't know when you're going to get into that block. But once you're in that block, you can really react to that moment of stuttering in a lot of different ways, an infinite number of ways. Your habitual way of reacting to that block by just pushing is just that it's something learned, it's a habit, and you can change that response to the moment of stuttering from this sort of pushing struggle response to allowing your body to do what it wants to do, to stutter. So good luck. I hope this video made voluntary stuttering more, made it clearer to you and kind of how to work through stuttering blocks. So if you have any questions or would like to get in touch, you can email me at Catherine@permissiontostutter.com, or you can leave a comment. Thanks a lot.